Hello folks and welcome to the video. Okay, tripods, rests, things to put your gun on. Maybe because you're going to go and sit in a hide and do some pest control, or maybe because you simply want a tripod and a rest to shoot with at home. That's what I often do. I've got a folding fishing chair and sometimes I shoot benched over my 20-yard range and sometimes I use a tripod with a V-rest. Now, if you use a tripod with a V-rest and a Springer rifle, it's not always the best combination because, as many of you know, this front part of the rifle is not supposed to be put on a hard surface. You have a recoil in there, you have a spring, and it will make the gun bounce. Now, it's not massive, but off of a hard surface, it is enough to really impair your accuracy. So if you haven't got the kind of deep pockets needed or spare cash available to buy a hunting tripod with all the adjustability, or if you feel they're not suitable for your Springer, but you still want to use one, I'm going to show you what I've done. Now, you might find this a little bit amusing, but trust me, I have used it and it works. So here it is. This is a simple fisherman's pole roller with some sponges zip tied over the top. Now it might look a bit amusing, but it actually works. The reason why it works is because this top sponge absorbs the recoil. It's pretty much like putting it in the palm of your hand, and I can actually rest the rifle directly on here and fire it without getting a kick, and the point of impact is practically the same as holding it in the palm of my hand and being benched. Now what I will say is it's a little bit trickier because when you're leaning the rifle on one of these and you're behind it and you're on a chair, you've got no other support. You're sitting static, but you've still got to level yourself, and it's a little bit harder than shooting when your top of your body is rested on a bench. But then again, if you're going to go out doing some pest control and that kind of thing, it's unlikely you're going to take a table and have your elbows down. You're going to be using a tripod or you're going to be shooting freehand. And I certainly couldn't do pest control freehand. I'm not that good. So that's why I came up with this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in a cover. Let me switch you off for a second while I squeeze it into the cover, and it will give you an idea of how you can smother this if you decided to try something similar yourselves. Okay, so this is a simple canvas bag with a pull string at the bottom. You can get these in camo, dark colours, whatever you want. So you've still got the sponge under there. The gun is going to sit on there and it's nice and soft. Now I haven't actually shot with this, so I'm going to see what it's like. And if I'm disappointed, I'll take it off and go directly back to the sponge. But let's rest the gun on there today, first of all. It's a little bit tighter because this bag's quite a tight fit. If it was a looser bag, then this would go down a bit more in the middle and it would just really be a rain cover, a weather cover to stop those sponges getting wet. But it is going to play a part because it is quite tight on there. But anyway, I'm going to put this on top of the tripod. It's the tripod I'm using right now to make this video. So the phone's coming off. That's going to go down by the target. I'm not going to change the zero. The gun is zeroed, QYS pellets, pretty much bang on, benched with the gun, the front of the gun in the palm of my hand. So we'll see how the POI shifts with this as well. So this goes on the tripod, the rifle front goes directly on there, I sit on a folding chair behind it, and that's it. It's just basically replicating a kind of pest control out in the country in a hide type scenario. 20 yards, QYS pellets, zeroed for a bench and a hold. Let's see if I can be accurate at 20 yards with this on a tripod and me sitting behind it. Okay folks, the tripod's way down there, all the way out the garage, all the way down the garden and to the back of the living room. A lot of people have asked for this, but I don't have a double camera set up, so I don't film myself shooting, but the tripod and rest is way down there, a full 20 yards away. So for those of you who have wanted to see it, all the way through my junk filled garage, down the garden, back of the living room, a full 20 yards.
Yes, I had to go and spoil it, didn't I? Getting a bit ahead of myself, getting a bit pleased with myself, and a lazy one outright to spoil the group. Now, they are in a bit of a line, but if you take away the slack one that went flying out to the right and you take the one out just above the diamond, you have got a group there that easily fits under a 5p. In fact, even with that slightly high one, they're not far off. Not quite, but I mean, just a fraction. In fact, that is so close to a 5p group, apart from the flyer that was completely down to me. So there you go. That is off of the tripod, and I think that that is accurate enough to warrant a little go on the old bottle tops. I will also say, when I was talking about point of aim earlier on, yeah, this group here is exactly where I was getting the point of aim the other day off the bench. So arguably there's been absolutely no shift in POI with that that pull string bag over the top of the sponges. It appears to me to be identical. Right, let's shoot some bottle tops to finish, because I think it deserves it after a display like that. Okay folks, I've replaced that last bottle top with another one. Just to quickly say, I know the QYS are a few mil low of bang on, so I had a fraction of holdover, just a fraction of holdover at 20 yards. I've just put another bottle top up just to show you for reference. So if you can actually minor adjust with a tiny bit of holdover at 20 yards off a tripod like that and hit a bottle top that's laying flat, then hopefully that shows you what you can do with a simple homemade setup if you get it right.
So there we go, folks. It may not look pretty, but it does show you what you can achieve and the potential out there if you're on a budget and you can't afford a fancy tripod, that kind of thing, and you just want to make something yourself that can work. It is possible. You just need a couple of hours, a few quid, and some imagination. Well, I hope you found that helpful, folks, and until the next video, take care, stay safe, and we'll see you soon.